So yes, we got it right. There are new bikes for our squats, but it is even better. They are trikes. Yes, I can't believe they've actually gone for it. And since I've seen the article, I have not stopped having get the motor running, get out on the highway. It's stuck in my head the whole time. So to keep the noise out of my head, why don't we go and have a look-see at them? So here they are. Embrace three-wheeled freedom on the new Squat Scout Trike. The Ironhead Squat prospectors are some of the roughest, toughest fighters on Necromunda, but while they're known for their grit and gear, they've never quite garnered a reputation for speed. We know that from what we were guessing from our characters last week. Heavy kit and naturally chonky legs sabotage their sprinting dreams, but as with all things in Necromunda Mining Clan's, technology finds a way. It's its own version of Jurassic Park, I'll take that. As it turns out, this way has 3 wheels. Oh yes it does. So here they are. Oh my gosh, look how cool they look. It is equal parts Akira meets sort of industrial mining bits with that huge big iron arm coming around to hold the back wheel and that sort of grunt and grime that you want from your Necromunda Ashways gear. So it is seemingly perfect at all fronts. But what I love the most is it just looks bulky. It fits with the squats. It's got that stylings that we had, that sort of space age a little bit, with that sort of hood that comes round and the sweet, very Formula One car, but in that sort of 60s understanding of what they thought Formula One cars would look like in the future, mixed with the brutishness, Mad Maxness of Necromunda, mixed with squats. And you know, it's great because they've gone back to the nostalgia and they've gone back to the history of the old school squats, but done it in such a modern way and that fits with the rest of the squats things. And yeah, you know, the Ironheads, we've talked last week about the Leagues of Votan and you know, I just think diesel power and rubber tires, big chunky tires, are so much better than hover bikes by a long margin. So this is looking so cool. I mean, let's go back and look at the old trikes. Here are the old trikes, and look at them. They look really quite derpy now when you look at them. But they had that more sort of, they're pretty much what we had. The tiny wheel at the front is a little bit amusing, but they're definitely much more Harley Davidson and the tech that we had in the sort of 80s and 90s than they are futuristic. But I do love the big flag, and this is actually kind of the vibe I've gone for my AOS chariot that I'm turning into a trike like this. And I've kind of got that big old school rally bike, big flag at the back, and I love that, the sort of low rider thing. And so yeah, I maybe it just missing that is the only thing. Maybe it just needs one of those big flags coming out the back, and that would make the difference. Anyway, what does it say about them? The Venator Scout Trike is a vehicle of choice when Ironheads range out into the waste from their lagers. I guess that's how you say it. Giant nomadic camps form from temporarily stationary land trains. Their speed and rugged reliability allow small teams of squats to crisscross the ashways much farther than the Scalvian explorators, which we've seen before, and rooting out promising ore veins and chasing down rumours of lost archaeotech. So they're literally mixing their Mad Max vibes with their Indiana Jones in the most awesome way, and that's kind of what you'd expect from these Ironhead squat prospectors. And yeah, I think I love that a lot. Each trike is also equipped to deal with the ever-present dangers of the ashways. A twin-linked hardpoint up front can be equipped with your choice of Ironhead autogun, bolt gun, or melter gun. So you are coming packed with definite heat whilst you're cruising down the ashways roads, while the vehicle itself could take all kinds of upgrades over the course of a campaign, from crash cages and ablative armor to booby-trap fuel tanks and archaeotech reactors, which makes me just think of speed. Lots more speed. And look at these vibes they've got. They've kind of got the old school sort of bearded looking super cool visors there. I love that. And yeah, the whole like fit and shape of it, silhouette of it is so perfect. I really love it. But one of the cool upgrades you can get for it is this Tech-My Oculi, which is like a floating drone that follows its host trike and scouts up for targets. These advanced machines can travel much further from their controllers than similar automatons and are usually employed to hunt down entrenched enemies before transmitting accurate targeting data back to their owners. Now, reading the rules for this, they can go up to 18 inches away from their owner, which is normally about 3 inches for most exotic beasts, it says there, and it can target paint. So whilst one Techmite Oculi is within 6 inches of an enemy model, their owner reduces any negative modifiers to hit that model due to cover by 1. So to clarify what that means that you can then, if they are like half cover and they get that reduction in, sort of harder, so you get like, it's a -1 to hit, you can remove that -1 because you've got them targeted by your drone. And the style of them is very much in the same vein of that Votan. They are not servitors, they're not cogitators, these are proper computers with just all tech and proper drones. But I like how they've given them a humanoid sort of vibe to them, which fits with the aesthetic of the rest of the thing. But it's very cool. I love my Indiana Jones Mad Max dwarfs with bikes. I think they're super cool. This new multi-part plastic kit. Now that's very cool because last week I had questions on the channel about the Exokin suit, wondering if it was plastic. I know there was an original resin sculpt before, but they have confirmed that after the fact that it is plastic, and in here this is definitely plastic. And it also tells us this time what you get in the box, which is 2 Svenatar Scout Trikes and 2 Techmites, and you get arm and head options, and you can also get every single version of the bolter, melter, and autogun, so you can fit them out and kit them out however you like. And it says they're a great way to add some fast firepower to your otherwise ponderous Ironhead Squat Prospector guns and work wonderfully alongside the super heavy Exokin we showed last week. Now, I think that's very true. I think the Exokin, being heavy, tough, stompy units, would work really well with these, and I'm going to assume that they're going to be quite seem like melee focused, so it'd be interesting to see how that will work with placement on the board, but you can be rounding them up with your trikes and letting the rest of it be dealt with by those Exokin just bashing them in the face. Seems like a good strategy to me. But it says here at the end, that is not all there is to come for the squats. Next week we're going to have something of the literary persuasion. So is that a book? Is it actually going to be a book? Or is it going to be a model that is book formed? Like, in my mind it goes to like the whole idea that kin have their laws that are all written down, so I wondered if it was more like that, or if it's a runic thing, or if it's just going to be a supplement, like a book supplement, and something else all of your prospectors can enjoy. We have no idea what that could be. Is it a land train? Is it going to be a tank? No, we will see. It's probably just some cool rules upgrades, maybe? I don't know. Maybe just an upgrade sprue, to be honest, because we haven't had one yet for the Ironhead Prospectors, to my knowledge. But that's everything for our cool squats riding bikes. Get your motor running. Anyway, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about quickly on the Warhammer community front page, because when I was here looking for my Necromunda news, I saw there's a new Kill Team starter set. And you might think, hey, there's a Necromunda channel most of the time. You talk about other things occasionally, but Kill Team starter set that looks a bit basic because it's just a bunch of Marines. Well, yeah, it does come with 14 plastic Marines, some from the Angels of Death and some from the Plague Marines. However, there is something very cool in this box set. You get your usual stuff you get in a starter set. It's going to try to reboot 40k Kill Team, get people in. Everyone loves the Space Marine. They've done the Hive Storm. This is probably more just for the sort of entry grade. But with that entry grade, not only do you get all the books and rule books and everything you need, you get some terrain. And this terrain is made from MDF. It's not plastic. And as someone who has limited space and limited time, I find that terrain is always a tricky one, because I'm like, do I want to spend ages painting terrain that I'm hardly going to use and I'm never going to find anywhere to keep it? So I hardly ever buy it. Like, I've got the very small amount that came in the starter box for Skaven type, and that's great. That's all I need. It's only tiny little bits, and I'll use them mainly for basing. But this is cool because they are slot fixed together, and so then they can be unslotted, folded down into a flat plate, and you can take them with you. And it's reminds me of the old school, like Gorka Morka, 2nd edition and 3rd edition 40k, original Necromunda, where you got card structures. I used to love my Imperial base that I had for 2nd edition, but having these, which is a much more stronger material than card, is really cool. Bit heavier, but MDF isn't that heavy. Okay, and probably better for the environment. It's a question because I know the glues in MDF aren't the best, but better than plastic probably. At least it's made from recycled materials and could be recycled. There's always questions again over MDF. Please don't cut it, and if you do, wear a mask. But yeah, straight out of the box terrain that looks pretty good, and I would like to see more of this for the people like myself as I said, who don't have a lot of space, don't have the time to be painting up terrain, which seems sort of secondary to your thing, because you're most of the time going to go to your club or go to Warhammer World and use their kit, but to have this so you can just set up a game at home really quickly, get out of the box and put it away without worrying about it breaking and all that stuff, really, really cool. So yes, happy about this, very much. Anyway, that's so exciting. Trikes being back in Necromunda for our squads. It's so good to see them on their 3 wheels again. I love it. And I'm really excited actually about the MDF terrain. I know there's probably loads of people like that's so dull, but for me, I'm pretty happy about it. And it's really nice to see GW putting out that sort of product and supporting it and kind of helping people at all scales and ranges of the hobby who just could do with those things is really good, and making it more of an entry case and maybe making it more cheaper. I don't know. So that's everything for today. Usual YouTube-y thing, like, subscribe. I've got some cool kit bashes coming up, and if you want to hear more about what's going on in Necromunda, I'll keep you updated on that. And until the next time, you stay safe in the Underhive. Bye, everyone.